Morning guys, and welcome to my new video. Today I'm going to update you on the Evolution Aqua Tempest filter that I reviewed in last week's video. So if you haven't seen that first video, do check that out first and then come back and see this one. And today I'll take you through the 9 or so days I've spent with it. I'll take you through the timeline, what I've done each day, what I've found, show you a couple of cleans and things, the muck that's coming out of it. And I've got a big test coming up that really does make it of it. So yeah, don't miss that. It's really worth seeing. So as I say, we'll go through the timeline firstly. I put the filter on Thursday, the 28th of January. So that was when I installed the Tempest in my system here. And then I left it alone until the Sunday morning, and on the Sunday morning I did a quick clean on it just to see what it had collected in those few days. At the time I was using a blue bowl, so it's not brilliant, but I have subsequently picked up a white bowl, and you can see the muck that comes out a lot better now. But for this one I used the blue bowl. So this is what muck came out of it on that Sunday morning after being installed since Thursday afternoon. So as you can see, a lot of muck really. I was quite surprised, to be honest. If you've not seen many of my videos, you're not familiar with my sort of philosophy. I'm absolutely obsessed to the border on OCD with cleanliness. I actually have a pod on this system, and I clean the pod out every single day. So I get home from work 6 o'clock or so every evening. I go out to check on the fish, and while I'm doing that I'll run a clean on the pod. It only takes 5 minutes, but it's done every day, because I strongly believe that mechanical filters don't actually, with the exception of drums and to a lesser extent sieves, they don't actually take out waste from your pond. All they do is kind of gather it all together, round it up into one corner of the pond. It's down to us as koi keepers to actually take the muck out. So while it's still rounded up in the filter, it's still in the pond, your fish are still swimming around in that waste. So my filter's flushed every single day. So I was quite surprised by how much was in there in 2 and a bit days, to be honest. And looking in the body of the filter, you couldn't actually see any debris in there, so I didn't think it had collected anything. So quite surprised, pleasantly surprised with the performance, I guess, and a little bit, I don't know how to take it, to think that there is a lot of muck in my filter, that in my pond, that I didn't really think was there. But yeah, the reason I did that clean on Sunday morning was because I have blanket weed in the pond. I'll just pop a little video up now to show you the blanket weed. So I decided, given the blanket weed that and the kind of lack of muck in my system really, I guess, that I would treat the blanket weed, and I put a blanket weed treatment in on Sunday afternoon. So I expect that will, as that dies, that's going to give the Tempest a better test when we start to get dying blanket weed coming through. And then I left the system alone for the rest of the week until Thursday. So I had someone asked if I would be able to put something on the filter return to see if we collected any debris going back to the pond after the Tempest. And so on Thursday I added a stocking over the end of my filter return. Now I've done that before when I've had green water, when the UV starts to flocculate and the green single-celled algae clump together and start to get a little bit bigger. Put a stocking over the end and it takes that out very quickly. Now the stocking, I could put that on for a day and a half at the most, and then that stocking was blinding and it was clogging up, and it would start to blow off, and I'd have to replace it. So about a day and a half. Now I actually left that stocking on from Thursday to Saturday, so 3 good days, and I was absolutely amazed, to be honest, to find that it stayed on that long without blocking up. So definitely improvement there. Now when I took that off, there was some green, little bit of green coloration in there. There was a few little specks, and then the majority, all the black bits that you'll see on the video, were all the little larvae, little insects and bugs that come off the inside of the pipework. So I think probably they're all from the return pipework. I don't think they've actually been through the Tempest, if I'm honest. So yeah, actually really good. To have that on for nearly 3 days at all is amazing, but to find so little in it is yeah, it's a good result for the Tempest, that one, I have to say. Just on that as well, just to clear that up, as I say, I was asked if I'd do that, and obviously I will. Whatever, if anybody's got any tests they want me to do, that's great, I'll do that. But at the end of the day, I mean, there's 3 days there where that stocking was on, and really it's kind of, the test's kind of been on hold for those 3 days, because with the Tempest, as we know from the first video, it doesn't, no mechanical filter takes everything out in one pass. There's a percentage that it misses. The Tempest, we saw what percentages it misses, so it's not really a very good test when the Tempest's really only getting one go at taking those out, and then the stocking is taking them out. Whereas in the real world, there would be probably once an hour, 24 times a day that muck would go through the filter if the stocking wasn't there, you know, and you would expect it to be caught then. So it's kind of shown what the Tempest doesn't take out in a single pass, I guess, but we already know that because there's an independent test there that tells us that. So I'm not sure how much we gain, but as I say, I was pleasantly surprised how little was in there. But and the other thing is that personally I'm not too worried about what it doesn't take out. I'm more interested in what it does take out, because at the end of the day, that muck that's in the bucket after a clean, without the Tempest there, that muck would still be going around my pond system, still organic load on my pond. So I'm interested in what it takes out really, rather than what it doesn't take out. But I did the test, and hopefully that gives you some benefit. So where I'm at now then, the sock's off, the water's still a little bit cloudy with the blanket weed treatment. I'm starting to get the blanket weed coming through a little bit now, starting to die off. Now what I'm going to do, I'm not sure how sensible this is, I wouldn't suggest doing it at home, to be honest, but what I'm going to do, I'm going to, it's killed me, but I've not been sleeping at night, but I haven't cleaned the pod now for 3 days. So there's 3 days worth of, in fact it's nearly 4 days of crap in that pod. I'm going to clean the pod with the pump running and the valve to the pond open, basically. So I'm going to dislodge 4 days worth of crap out of that pod and send it all straight to the Tempest in one slug. As I say, I'm not sure how clever this is, but I think, you know, I want to know if this thing works. I want to know how good it is, because I'll be honest, I'm really impressed so far. I am considering buying myself one, no question about that. I'm not going to tell lies, but I think this test will I don't know, it's not realistic. You're never going to get so much crap thrown at your filter in one go in a real world situation, but at the same time I think it'll tell us something. So I'm going to give it a go. I'll try and do it real time in one take so you can see I'm not cheating. Whether I'll pull that off or not, I don't know. It isn't going to be very professional looking, but we'll give it a go. So that's the pod at the moment. As you can see, my air pump's still sat on the top. I've not put a new shelf back in yet. I had to take my shelf out to put the Tempest in. But if we look inside, you'll see there's a lot of crap in there, particularly blanket weed around the mesh there in the middle. So we're going to blow all that out, send it all to the Tempest. Okay, so let me just get this straight in my head now what I'm going to do. So firstly, I'm not putting the centre pipe in, and I'm not turning the pump off, which I would normally do. So I'm going to simply divert the air to the pod, and you can see all the crap coming out of there. And obviously, instead of going to waste, this will now all be going down there. And if I put to the Tempest, you'll see, I'm starting to think this is a silly idea, but yeah, all the water, all the crap out of the pod is now going into the Tempest. And you can see the green sort of starting to penetrate the layers of media there, going up probably about, what's that, about 40 mil into the media. The stuff higher up is still clean. So far so good. I don't know if you can see it, but there is a lot of crap coming in there. An awful lot of crap going into the Tempest, and as you can see, it's really starting to fill up now with green. That's probably reaching about 50 mil, maybe 60 mil even now into the media, and then again above still clear. So the water's starting to get cleaner now. And I think the water, just looking into the pod itself now, starting to get cleaner again, because it's all been dumped through to the Tempest. Probably still about 50 or 60 mil worth of media is now contaminated with green, but the water below, there is still a lot of solid waste coming through. Predominantly blanket weed, I suspect, but it is getting clearer now. Okay, have a look at the pod again. Yeah, that water's getting pretty clear now. I'll just knock the air off now. See how that looks. Still a little bit murky in the middle there, but all that muck is continuing to be drawn down and pushed through to the Tempest. But I think we've got the majority of it there. So I'd say actually probably about 70 mil, 80 mil now into the media. I can see debris, but still clean at the top there. Okay, I think the water coming through to the Tempest now is pretty clean. I don't have my bucket set up, so I'm going to have to stop the video and just get set up. I'll just do that now. Okay, so yeah, I've just set the bucket up. Again, the white bucket, and I've got the floss underneath so we can see it better. And I'm now going to do a clean on the Tempest again. So pump off, close the valves top and bottom, and open this valve. You can see now all that crap that the filter took out being dislodged. Still clean up at the top, nothing up there on the pond side, so nothing getting past the media in the Tempest, so that's good. The bucket is looking nasty, as we would expect. And there's a lot of muck in there. Still got a good 100 mil or so of media at the top that's spotlessly clean. I think this is definitely going to be a double flusher, this one, but yeah, the fact that the top of the media is spotless is a good sign. It suggests there's nothing gone through that way, and that's what the bucket looks like. I don't know if you can see all the solid stuff that's in there as well as the green coloration, but yeah, it's took it out. Okay, that's done. So close the valve, open this back up, turn the pump back on. We'll let that run. Bit of crap in the bottom there. Let's not come out with the flush. I'm more worried about stuff going through the filter and not being taken out on this one really, rather than the cleanliness of it after one flush, but so far so good. You can see green quite high up, but there is still a clean area at the top, and you can see we're now, it's difficult, but we're back online there. So I'll dig out that, I'll get the filter sock off now, the stocking off now, and we'll have a look at that. Just bear with me. And that's what we've got. Basically, there is a bit of green coloration in there, a bit of algae got through, and then the insects again. Seem to flush a lot of insects through for some reason. I'm guessing that's probably when I turn the pump back on after the clean, maybe out the inside of the pipe. But essentially, apart from a little bit of green colour, it's caught a lot. So that's the filter now, all back online. Probably fair to say could do with another flush. I'll do that now. It's no hardship, but I have to say, given what I've thrown at it, the extenuating circumstances out of the blue, you wouldn't normally get that. I think it's coped admirably, to be honest. I think it's done a really good job. So by way of conclusions then, obviously I've not had it long. I think it's fair to say I need to live with this filter for a little bit longer. It would be nice to be able to go through a summer with it where I'm feeding heavily, see how it copes in those situations. When the blanket weed starts to die off more again, another good test for it. But given the time I've had it for, it's only been about 9 days. And what I've done with it, what I've thrown at it, I really am impressed, to be honest. I've not really got any negatives as such. I know people worry about the inside of the glass getting green and dirty. I think that's inevitable. I think there's green build up on the inside of all pipework, all filters. The fact that it's clear maybe highlights it, but you know, your bead filters and things like that inside are all dirty and green and you can't see them, so it's not sort of considered a problem. I honestly question whether maybe they should have just made it a solid tube and not made it transparent. But I guess it's there, you know, it's a bonus. I think if I had one, I'd probably wrap a central heating tank jacket type thing around it for a bit of insulation, certainly over the winter. I'm not too worried about being able to see inside, but yeah, you know, maybe some people will be. I think that you're not going to be able to have good visibility all year round. I think it's going to get at various times of the year, you know yourselves, the way you filter greens up at certain times of the year and other times it clears itself. I think that will happen with the tube. It's something I guess you'll just have to live with. As I mentioned on the earlier video, the pipe work, the configuration with the inlet and the outlet on the same side, I've had a few people suggest that that wouldn't be the best for their situation. I don't know what the solution to that is. I don't know whether EA may offer different configurations down the line or what, I don't know. And as I said, the sticker as well. I think probably with hindsight, just put one sticker in the box, and once people have installed the filter, they can put it on when, you know, wherever they want it. Maybe an option. Other than that, I haven't come across any downsides to it yet. I've not seen any slowing down of the pump. To be honest, the wattage hasn't increased notably. I've not seen any downsides at all, really. So all good so far. So what I'll do now, I'll keep hold of this as long as they'll let me keep hold of it. When they want it back, I will make another video just wrapping up, and hopefully I'll have some more to add by then. Hopefully I can hang on to it till I'm feeding some decent food. As it stands now, to be honest, if they phoned me up today and said they wanted it back, I would be asking how much it would take to keep hold of it, because I really have found it a useful, really useful addition. So as always, thank you for watching. Hope that's been of some use to you. Please do check out the other videos. Please do hit the subscribe button. Don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss out on any future videos. Please comment, good, bad, indifferent. I like to read all the comments. I do try and respond to them all. Until the next video, do take care.